In this video, I want to show you how to print out the elements of the list, but conditionally. So not print out all of them, but in this case, what I would like to do is to print out all the earnings that are greater or equal than 100. I will then trace the program. So what's the idea here? The idea is, well, we kind of know how to print things conditionally. So for example, let's say that I only want to print out the word snooze if I slept for less than 8 hours. So I'll define the variable called hours slept. Let's set it to 7 at first. And I'll say that I'll print snooze if hours slept is smaller than 8. Let me print this out. So this will print snooze. The reason it will print snooze is that hours slept is smaller than 8, which means that this condition is true. So I'll go and execute line 7 in this case. Hours slept is not defined because I forgot the T. And now we have snooze in the output here. On the other hand, if hours slept had been, for example, 8.5, then executing those 3 lines, again, I'm pressing Alt-Enter to execute them, this will not print out any output at all. So here you see that there is no output. I would like to use this very idea in order to print out the earnings which are greater or equal than 100, but not the ones that are below 100. So let me start by just printing out all the earnings unconditionally. So I would say for I in range, the length of gross earnings. So the length of gross earnings would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will go from 0 to 1 to 2 and up to 4. The index of this element, the last element, is 4, the length of gross earnings minus 1. And I would just print out gross earnings at I here. What this would do is print out this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Let's try it. I forgot to define gross earnings. If I highlight this and press Alt-Enter, or if I pressed Control-E or Command-E to begin with, that would work. Now let me highlight this. And I got everything printed out like I expected. Now what I want to do is I want to print out gross earnings at I, but only if it's greater or equal than 100. I will use this very same idea. I will now say if gross earnings at I is greater or equal than 100, then I will print it. Otherwise, I will not. Let me try running this. And you see we skipped over the 62.15. Let's see how that works. I will put a breakpoint on line 1 and press Control-E. Let's go to the next line. And now I begin tracing the loop. So the first time that I enter the loop, I here is assigned the value 0. You can check here as well that I is 0. That means that when we say if gross earnings is greater or equal than 100, we mean if 361.681 is greater than 100. We can check that. So let me highlight this. I is 0, so here we'll get gross earnings at 0. So 361, this is the same number. This means that this condition will be true, which means that we will execute line 6. We printed out 361.681. Now I, the second time that we enter the loop, I will become 1. Here I has just become 1. And again, we're testing is gross earnings at 1 greater or equal than 100. It is not, because 62 is not greater than 100. Let's make sure, we don't have to, but let's make sure that this is false. This is indeed false. What that means is that line 6 this time around will not get executed, and we will not print anything. We will just go back to line 4, where I will become 2. Now I has become 2, as you can see here, and that means that we test whether this number, gross earnings at 2, is greater than 100. It is, which is why line 6 will get executed this time. And we get 396, the same as what we have here. And we go back to line 4 after line 6 because we're not done, because I has not yet become 5. I right now is just 2. Let's go through a few more iterations. Now I has become 4. That means that we're looking at gross earnings at 4, this number, it is greater than 100. So we'll print it. And now we are here, but now I is 4, which means that we should exit the loop, because the loop should go from 0 and up to this number, length of gross earnings, which is 5 minus 1, which is 4, and I is right now 4. That means that we will not enter the loop, we will not test gross earnings at 5 greater than 100, that would make no sense. We'll go straight to line 10. And now we just continue with the execution of the program. So we assign 8.5 to our slept, and in this case we will not print snooze. We can just press continue and finish the program.